real sense of cultural alienation that older, white, non-college educated Americans have, the sense that their country is changing because of immigrants, because maybe blacks are rising up to a kind of central place in society, because of gays being accorded equal rights, because of, frankly, a lot of working women. Everybody is sort of muscling in on a territory that, if you think about it, the white working man had.
And at a cabinet meeting this morning, President Trump says his administration's accomplishments are going unnoticed.
We have the highest stock market in history. We have GDP on Friday, got very little mention, although I guess in the business areas it did. Unemployment is the lowest it's been in 17 years. Business enthusiasm is about as high as they've ever seen it.
And unfortunately, the good news is usually not covered, and that is just kind of the way it is, so they have to get out there and talk about it. Let's, Greg, start with Fareed Zakaria, and basically he's trying to give an explanation as to the bigotry that he thinks exists sort of underneath everything.
The only time Fareed isn't wrong is when he's plagiarizing.
Ooh. Because
whenever he tries to employ an original thought, he's an absolute moron. What he just did was he just smeared an entire group of people, saying that the decisions that they made were based on hatred and racism. I would like to say that Fareed said that because he hates white people. He is a racist. He is a repulsive bigot, because you can always, what I'm doing is flipping, I'm just merely using his tactics. Why would Fareed say that? Clearly, he's a bigot. Because why did you vote for Trump? Because clearly you're a bigot. The problem with his logic is it could be used right back at him. There's nothing he can say about it because he's a repulsive bigot.
So, Juan, this week the Democrats had their own sort of research done, a focus group and a poll, and it showed that they are actually quite unpopular, and that it looks like if the election were held today, President Trump would win again, and that the House members look like the Republicans are kind of in pole position. So do you think comments like this?
That he said that people were scared that blacks were becoming more successful, that women were becoming, he was saying we are racist, sexist, xenophobic.
Well,
and you know what? There are a lot of people that probably agree with that watch his show, that agree with it.
Well, I just don't think it's true. By your description, because I think you can prove by going into counties where Obama won that Trump then comes back.
I agree.
But that's not to ignore the cultural realities that he was touching on. I mean, we've seen more and more anti-Muslim, anti-Semitic even behavior in the country subsequent to Trump's election.
That's another segment, because I can dispute that. A lot of this stuff has turned out to be hoaxes, and we've covered that as well.
Let's get Kimberly's take on it, because this is actually what Fareed said is actually not a new concept. I mean, this has been said over a while, but they continue to lose elections, and so maybe that is actually something they should curtail.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, and I'm surprised to see him continuing in this way and in this vein, because it's not helpful, it's not working, and it does expose him. I agree with Greg that he's sort of, the argument can be flipped on him, that he is coming off as racist or bigoted or xenophobic, and I don't see what his goal and ultimate objective is, because I don't think the rhetoric is helping. And the way that he's framing this argument, certainly there's like conclusive proof that this has hurt the Democratic Party.
And Jesse, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, I think racism is just another excuse like Russia to make sure Hillary doesn't accept responsibility for losing to Donald Trump. And I think Trump got more votes from Hispanics and blacks than Romney did. And like you just were saying, they had counties that flipped from Obama to Trump. Did they just become racist in the last couple of years? So I think Trump won not because of white voters, but because of people like Fareed Zakaria, who were so out of touch the last 8 years and said everything was going so great in the economy and everything was doing well, and they kept on talking about bathrooms and Occupy Wall Street, while the rest of the country was saying, hey, we're getting hammered over here. Yeah. What about us? Trump spoke to those people, and that's why he won.
All right, next, President.